Merry Christmas, crafters! My name is Kelly, and this is Kelly's Creative Stamping. And I wanted to introduce you to something that I'm going to be taking part in beginning on December 3rd. EclecticKristen here on YouTube has challenged us all to do some sort of Christmas decorating, either in one particular item or in an area, to decorate our home for Christmas for $20 or under, using primarily items from Dollar Tree. And I gotta tell you, this just resonated with me right away, because now that I'm in my studio and my studio is starting to come together, this will be my first year to actually decorate my studio. And I've always wanted a Yule tree on top of my vintage wardrobe. So what I'm going to be using are rustic elements, reds, browns, bring in some whites for the snow. Reds will represent the warmth of the season and the fire. So what I've got are a couple of things, and we'll be doing the hop on December 3rd, and there will be a link back to EclecticKristen's blog or YouTube channel, where she'll have a complete list of all of us that are participating, and you can walk around through YouTube and get some fabulous ideas on how to decorate for $20 or less. Now, that does not include our tree, if we're going to use a tree, or our lights, just everything else that we use to decorate. So I went to my local Dollar Tree. Actually, I've been to 3 or 4 of them because I've been looking for specific things. And I started with this burlap ribbon from Floral Garden. And if you'll notice, it's got spots of white on it, almost representing snowflakes. So I started with that, and I came up with this. Now, this is just a little bow that's just going to have several of these popping in and out amongst the branches on the tree. And I'll show you how I did that. I started with, let me get my measure here. I started with 2 lengths. The first one is 5, and the second one is 3.5. Now, you're going to want to make sure, what I did was I folded them in half, and I clipped them at an angle to give that ribbon tail. And I've done that to both ends on both pieces. See if I can make this semi-even, although it's rustic, so I guess it really doesn't matter, does it? And I will do that on the short one as well. Oops, make sure I'm going the right direction. You want to make sure that you're going from your outside point up at a 45-degree angle up into your crease. Otherwise, you're not going to wind up with a tail. You're going to wind up with points. Now, that one's a little off, but that's okay. Layer them one on top of the other and kind of squish them together. Now, this is where either a pair of hands, an alternate pair of hands, or these scissors or tweezers, self-closing tweezers, come in handy, and I just let and clip that there. I've taken a length of the burlap thread from off of the end and just peeled it off. Now, it gets into the paint. It's a little tough. You just got to give it a little extra tug. And I've used this to tie this together first, so that it kind of buries itself in there, and it's much easier to tie this than it would be gives you a tighter hold on that center crease. And just really give it a good tug. Although, don't give it too much of a tug, because burlap strings will pop. And then I'm just going to clip them off, just like that. And then I can release the tweezers and let them go. And then I took a length of about 4 inches, or about 2. I guess that's in centimeters. I guess, about 2 inches of the red chenille. Now, the red chenille came in a packet of red, green, and gold, and there was a lot of pieces in there for that $1. And I just wrap that around the center and give it a twist in the back, and then spread the tails out, just like that. And there I have a bow to tuck into the tree. Now, see, I didn't get that one quite centered, but that's okay. It's rustic. The other thing I wanted to do, but didn't quite work out, so I had to modify, and that's okay. That's what crafting is all about. I started, well, let's do these. These are just going to be ornament hangers, and they're rustic pieces of potpourri. Now you can get a bag of this, and this is apple cinnamon scented, I believe. And it comes in a big bushel bag for $1. But my initial plan was to string this and use it as a garland. However, my tree is 3 foot. One bag was not going to do it. So I decided to go ahead and just make them ornament hangers. Now this is not like stringing popcorn. You are not getting a needle in there. So what I did was I went through and I pulled pieces out that I could punch with a 1/8 inch hand punch. And I went through and I punched all of those. And then I strung them on brown sewing thread to make the ornaments. A little time consuming, but it's a good TV project. So there are those. Next, for a little more pops of red, I brought in these stickers, gems, and these are hanging with the Christmas items. But they're real easy to turn into hanging ornaments once you get them open. They are adhesive backed, so I bought a package of ornament hooks in green so that they'll kind of disappear into my tree. And I'm simply going to bend that up so that it'll fit in there. Pull the paper backing off the sticky. Should have brought my pokey tool over. It would have been easier to get a hold of this paper. There we go. And I'm just going to lay that in the back, just like that. And then I'm going to come back in with a second one and sandwich that wire in between the two. Now, if I decide that I need a little extra hold for that, putting a dab of glue in there will be just fine. But isn't that the cutest little berry hanger to hang in the tree? So I'll have several of those. The other thing is the sticky snowflakes, and these are the same way. As you can see, there are 2 different sizes, maybe 3, and there are 25 in here, which means you should get approximately 10 to 12 ornaments by doing the same thing. We'll take and pop one of those apart. Bend that little hook up there. And I'm going to really squish him together so he'll fit in there nicely. Now the trick on this one is going to be lining up your points. So, and I'm trying to keep my head out of the way and still be able to see what I'm doing. There we go. And then I've got snowflakes to hang on my tree. Now I could also take these if I'd wanted to buy a big package, buy multiple packages of these. I could have strung these on white thread back to back and made a garland out of those. But I do have a plan for garland, and it's something you might not expect. I watched Kristen do a video on wrapping packages in faux fur, and when she told me what she was using, I knew instantly that's what I was looking for my garland. It's the super soft microfiber cloth for polishing your automobile. It is 16 inches by 24. So in 24 inches in length, my plan is, now I know, I'm pretty sure when I cut this, it's going to fray. So my plan is to sew down in a zigzag strip in white. And then probably, I'm thinking maybe a 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch apart. And then cut down. That way it's only going to fray up to where I did the zigzag stitch. And then I'll go back and I will tack all of the strips together in one long garland. And I cannot wait for me to see if it works, what I have in my head, and how it looks on my tree. So make sure you come back on December 3rd and get the link to visit all of us and get some really cool ideas for decorating for Christmas for under $20. Merry Christmas and creative blessings.